Welcome to Order in Chaos episode 20. Right, today we're talking about internal branding, which is a topic that we briefly touched on as a concept before, but we didn't deeply explore this topic. So today we are filling in the gap where we touch on the operational side of internal branding, how alignment is built, what standards that make this whole internal branding real, and why SMEs need it even when they don't have a HR department or a big training systems or whatsoever, right? So the central question we are answering today is how do SMEs build internal alignment so that the team consistently represents the brand and also delivers better service?
So if you have watched clips on Chinese companies that are doing the morning roll calls, they actually do this little happy sales done.
Even those like scam compounds,
Yeah, scam compounds don't have,
centers, they also have morning rah-rah sessions and all that, right?
Like 今晚睡地板，明天睡老板 right,
something
they start doing their morning dance with the sash of like top sales and stuff. but that's just an example. But of course, that's a very bad example because I think that's getting flamed online right now. Like for just
or like have culture like that.
So it's not to create a cult, right? The whole purpose is so that everyone feels a sense of purpose when they are coming to work every single day, right? So a lot of the SMEs mistake it for like, oh, I'm here, like the company is your second family.
They
Bullshit.
love this word. How many times have you heard this word before in the organizations that we work with?
Yes.
We are a family. We work as a family. We do not fuck.
Family gives me allowance. So where's my allowance?
Right.
So that your employees have a sense of unity. I mean, there's a unified purpose as to why they are coming to work, rather than loving you or loving the company. Right? So when they come to work, you want your employees to have a sense of purpose and like, okay, so I'm passionate about my work, right? I'm doing this for what? You get what I mean? Right? So with that vision, right, your employees will naturally be motivated. It's not interim, like short burst kind of motivation. The sense of purpose is what that carries them throughout the years.
And ensures the alignment. Throughout.
So
it's not just affection or what.
when we talk about internal branding, it's not like simple like, oh, a company shirt, everyone wearing a lanyard, bro. That doesn't work in today's age. You know, you have seen that, right? It makes sense, right? If you are working in a factory, then you have PPE, right? But I'm not saying you go to factory there, oh, I don't want to PPE. No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that for those companies that constantly enforce like, oh, you must wear your company polo tee, wear a lanyard, then stand at roadshow. Familiar? Other than regulatory purposes, there shouldn't be enforcement. It's just, let's say it should embody the culture of company. Let's say if the event that Chaos has a company shirt, right, is to reduce the employees' frustration or like the vexation with like trying to think of something to wear every single day. That's it. Right? You don't wear it's fine, right? I don't really care. But it's more so that you have something to wear and not so that, oh, I can feel that camaraderie.
Part of this.
No. Doesn't work that way. Right? So internal branding, a lot of times is aligned with how you are as a person. I personally believe in servant leadership. Right? This has been passed down from me from my mom, right? The way that she works harder than her employees. Right? First 20 years, she always wakes up earlier than the employees. She go and do the procurement, she go and do the setting up and all that kind of thing. Right? Subsequently, she hired people to do it. Right? But the first 20 years, right, like she was always earlier than the employer. And when the employees see that the person who's paying me my salary is earlier than me, is more hardworking than me, right? Naturally, they will be embarrassed if they will put less effort. Right? And they will feel out of place. So imagine if you have a boss that is like coming in drunk, coming late, like familiar. And then like leaving early,
not being around in office.
Yeah, just how do you expect to build a sense of belonging? Right? And you can call me traditional, you can call me like
old school.
Old school.
Yeah.
Right? But this is something that I personally still believe in, and I'm a new gen there. But this is something that I see is what brings people together. Right? Not all that bullshit rara or drinking session, but company shirt, sash, or it's not right.
Yeah.
I think what you want to build is a team where people feel the sense of belonging. right? Secondly is they must feel purpose in what they're doing. They can see what they're contributing. Let's say in your organization, they feel helpful. People want to have a sense of purpose. Whether that purpose is for your company or it's for themselves, it's still a sense of purpose, right? They feel a sense of purpose towards you, then that's good for your company, right? So how to inculcate that sense of purpose? Back to our previous episode is you have to be clear on the objectives, right? 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, where do you plan to be, right? And another thing is more of like they will personify your brand when they interact with clients, because you must understand that when clients go to you, right, they're not saying that, oh, Mr. Ken, they don't think it as your personal failure if you didn't deliver to their expectations. They think it's the company's fault, right? Yeah. So you must understand this fact, right? You can say that, oh, it's not me, it's a personal failure of my employees. No.
Yeah. Your employees don't just represent the brand, they are the brand in action.
Yeah. That's one very important thing to take note. And secondly, it's very good examples of 3 brands that I personally felt was very exceptional. First is Apple Genius Bar, right? Everyone fits a certain persona, right? It's not even us as customers, right? The moment that person becomes an Apple genius in the Apple store, right, they naturally feel that a particular way. That's one thing. Secondly, Singapore Airlines. The Singapore Airlines today, right, you will see Singapore Airlines difference because we go through such an elongated training process, quantifies every single metrics or that service standards that you need to meet.
Yeah.
That is so
Rigorous. And
yeah. That's one thing. Singapore Airlines is how training convert to actual real life
excellence.
execution, right? Then for Apple Genius, it's just like how the brand is that strong to the point where people who naturally are part of the company feel a certain way, right?
So all of those are still aspects of internal branding.
Yeah. But it's just different way that different companies does it.
Express.
Yeah. So let's say for Singapore Airlines, it's internal manifestation. They train you to become like that.
Okay.
Right. For Apple, it's like because the brand is that prestigious, you naturally feel like that. And for people who are not confident that they can be like that, they wouldn't even apply for the job. Same as Singapore Airlines now. Back then when Singapore Airlines first started, it wasn't that big of a brand.
Yeah.
Right? Then number 3, Ritz-Carlton. Right? Ritz-Carlton actually provides what, $2,000 for anybody in the hotel staff. You can be a cleaner, you can be bellboy, you can be a receptionist, right? To resolve their clients and the customers pain.
You have to conduct any service recovery.
Yeah, service recovery.
No questions.
Right? No questions asked. The Ritz-Carlton example is a textbook example that is always given to us in marketing, right? So I always thought that was an exemplary example of internal branding. It's you trusting your employees, right, to do the best for your hotel.
Yeah, and also like take ownership.
Yeah.
In the employee's perspective, it's more like what the company entrusts me to do for the clients. Like I don't have to go and I need to I need to ask my supervisor first, I need to check my manager first.
Yeah, then five working days, 5 working months.
Yeah, so they want to bypass all that and then deliver a faster and better experience for the client.
Yeah, I thought that was a very excellent way of internalizing internal branding.
Yeah,
right?
It improves the service delivery.
Yeah. So of course, then we have your typical examples. You mean your Disney people who become Disney staff. Usually they have a certain persona because bring joy to the world.
Yeah.
Right. But I feel that Disney, like people who work at theme parks, Disney, all that kind of thing, right, fall into the same category as Apple, where people join them because they are of a certain persona. Their certain personality, they feel that they are aligned with that brand. That's how important your branding is, You must be so consistent and like clear to common people, right? That when they join you, right, they already know what you represent.
Yeah.
That's how you recruit top talents and people who align with brand. But there are others that is the example I gave was Singapore Airlines, where they train you to become what they represent. Like it's not those team bonding sessions, it's not those company D&D that forms internal branding. They are just peripheral activities that does contribute to that cohesive internal branding identity. But that's not the main thing. Because at the end of the day, right, it's your day-to-day interactions with the company, with the brand, with the people, right, that makes them feel that they identify with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Constantly reaffirms the identity in every interaction.
Yeah. Not that just one off. oh wow, So that ties in with a lot of your activities. So I think for business owners, right, you need to go back and think like we are not just talking about like internal, like as in it's a HR process, the hiring process, or like am I doing enough to create the sense of identity? No, but it starts from the moment the person enters your door. So your HR process, right? When you're hiring, do you have certain is the expectation clear, right? Of this is how we identify as like this is what we stand for. And when you ask, right, it's not just straight up, hey, do you identify with us? No,
That's weird. That's a
Yeah.
weird question. They wouldn't even know how to
yeah.
answer.
So you must be able to distill certain questions that is able to
or bring out that
yeah
persona.
yeah. You have to be very specific to your own organization of with case studies. Case study meaning it could be scenario based question,
yeah.
right? And also you yourself know the vision they allocate for.
Mm.
How can that translate into the hiring process? You can ask AI to right to give you a sense of like how to start, right? But don't just churn out using AI lah, right? It doesn't work lah. Yeah. So that's just one thing. Second thing is when we talk about activities, right? Like it has to make sense. Meaning that let's say for Chaos Studios, when we plan activities, right? I try to bring our people to expand their horizons in the creative field. Because that's our industry. We must be in the know, right? And not bring them just on a holiday incentive trip. No, or go for a conference. No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's all part of like learning and becoming better at the craft.
Yeah. So you need to
purposeful.
yeah. Like for my mom when she went Japan or she went France, she actually went to the fish market to see how were they selling. Like gaining knowledge in your field lah, right? It wouldn't make sense if she went to learn it in a museum lah.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
But for us, it wouldn't make sense for us. We are in design industry, right? Then we go to actually it would still like I was thinking like going to like pubs and then try to see, but then they have posters there also. So
Yeah, I mean,
right?
design is in everything.
Yeah, it's in everything. So yeah. So when I bring my people overseas, it's not just simply for a holiday. It includes elements of like I want them to go for a certain workshop, going for to learn something. Right. So back to the internal branding side. So like how your people align with your brand, right?
Yeah, alignment and purpose.
Yeah. So firstly you must be willing to invest within your people, right? That what I mentioned about like bring them to experience overseas, right? Those are investments the company needs to make. Right? If you make it such that they have to come out of pocket, right? Nobody will.
Yeah.
You must be that confident to invest in that. Oh, these are the right people. I want them to grow with me. Then that's when you bring them up together, right? So when you plan out internal activities, right, it has to be purposeful. I think that's one thing that we need to take a look on. But actually, this is something that small SMEs are able to do, right? That MNCs are not able to. Because MNCs are too big.
Yeah, they're too big.
They cannot just go into such customized planning and
Yeah, they have to plan the whole
for the whole organization.
One department could be how many hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something that you as an SME has an advantage. I think another thing is really to define your own standards. Like, what do you stand for? Because there's no company that is good in everything. First, you must be able to identify what are the parameters first.
Your own strengths and all that.
No, meaning that what's are you measuring on?
Oh.
You don't even know the scale, the axis, right? How can you measure anything?
Yeah.
Right? Then second, you define how are you relative to
competitors or others.
the thing is there's one thing is that your competitors are people that your customers are comparing you to. It's not everybody in your whole, like no one compares us to Ogilvy. Because like dude, like how big is Ogilvy 100 years? Like dude, right? And who are your clients comparing you to? That's your actual competitors. And what axis are you relative to them? Then you can refine like what do you stand for. If you don't even know your own strengths and weaknesses, right, there's nothing for you to base on. So I think the clarity is very important for internal branding. The clarity of what you stand for, what purpose do you see, what purpose do you serve in your own field, right? And what vision do you have for the company in the next 5 to 10 years? We don't even say 5 to 10 years. We just say 1 to 2 years can.
Yeah.
1 to 2 years. Like it was just not long ago that we felt like we just started. Like we just started the company and right. But it's been 1 year.
Yeah.
And we will celebrate that in the next episode. Okay.
Alright, so to conclude, internal branding is just as important as external branding. External branding tells the market who you are and what your brand stands for. Internal branding makes sure that the team can actually deliver that promise. Right? So with that, we come to the end of episode 20. Hope you enjoy, learn something new today. Let us know, like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
对，卖完了哎。